Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Roy English Talk, your space for learning, living, and growing through the English language. Today, I'm going to talk about something personal yet universal. Micro habits that improved my life. These are small, almost invisible actions I added to my daily routine. No dramatic transformations, no huge goals. Just little steps, taken consistently, that slowly shifted my mindset, energy, focus, and even my happiness. And the best part? Anyone can do these. So, grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's dive into the power of tiny changes with a big impact. I used to believe that if I wanted to change my life, I had to do something big. You know, wake up at 5 a.m., run 10 miles, read a book a week, meditate for an hour. But every time I tried that, I burned out, fast. Then I discovered something that genuinely shifted everything: micro habits. And when I say micro, I mean tiny. 2-minute actions, 1-sentence journaling, 5 deep breaths before opening my phone. At first, they felt too small to matter, but over time, they started stacking like Lego bricks, and they built a foundation stronger than anything I'd ever tried. The real breakthrough came when I realized that change doesn't happen in dramatic overnight transformations. It happens in the invisible, ordinary moments. The choices that are so small, they almost feel insignificant. But when you repeat them every single day, they quietly change how you think, how you react, and how you show up in your own life. So here's the big question. How can something that takes less than 60 seconds actually rewire how you think, feel, and live? That's what this video is about. I'm going to walk you through the exact micro habits that helped me break out of mental slumps, stop procrastinating, boost my focus, and actually enjoy my routines. We'll break it down by category: mornings, mental health, productivity, relationships, even sleep. And by the end, you won't just know which habits to try. You'll understand why they work and how to start applying them today. You don't need more motivation. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to start smaller than you think and keep going. Because when you change what you do in the macro eventually takes care of itself. Let's get into it. Section 2: What are micro habits and why they matter? Let's start with the basics. What exactly is a micro habit? A micro habit is a super small, low-effort behavior that takes very little time and energy, but when done consistently, has a compounding effect on your life. Think of it like a seed, tiny, almost invisible at first, but given enough time, it can grow into something powerful. The magic lies in how ridiculously easy they are to start. The goal isn't to overhaul your life overnight. It's to make change so easy, you can't talk yourself out of it. Instead of saying, "I'll journal every night," a micro habit might be, "I'll write 1 sentence before bed." That's it, 1 sentence, but the brain gets a win, and you get momentum. What makes micro habits effective is how they bypass resistance. Big goals often feel intimidating, so we procrastinate. But tiny habits don't set off alarm bells in the brain. They feel manageable. That's why it's easier to do 5 push-ups a day than commit to a 45-minute workout right away. But those 5 push-ups often turn into more. Psychologists call this the gateway effect. A small behavior lowers the mental friction, making it easier to show up again and again. And when you keep showing up, your identity starts to shift. You go from someone who's trying to change to someone who follows through. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, said it best: "Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become." Micro habits are like casting daily votes. They might be small, but they count. And over time, they win. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or like you're always falling short, micro habits give you a way out. Not by pushing harder, but by starting smaller. Section 3, Morning Micro Habits That Changed My Days. Mornings used to be chaos for me. I'd wake up late, reach for my phone, scroll through social media half awake, then rush into the day already feeling behind. Sound familiar? I didn't realize it at the time, but the way I started my morning was silently setting the tone for everything that followed. So I decided to test something. What if I added just a few micro habits to my morning? Things so small I couldn't say no. And stuck with them for 30 days? What happened next honestly surprised me. Micro habit number 1. Don't touch your phone for the first 10 minutes. It sounds simple, but this was huge. That first 10 minutes became a buffer between my mind and the chaos of the world. No notifications, no anxiety-triggering news. Just me, waking up. At first, it felt weird. I'd instinctively reach for my phone. But after a week, I noticed something wild. I felt calmer, clearer, more in control. Micro habit number 2. Make your bed. Yup, just that. I know you've heard it before, but hear me out. This wasn't about cleanliness. It was about a win. One tiny win that told my brain, you're in charge, and it gave me momentum. Even on days I felt off, I could point to that one small thing I did right. It's a micro signal of order in a world full of noise. Micro habit number 3. One deep breath before getting up. That's it. Just one breath. Not a full meditation session, not breath work. One intentional breath. That tiny pause grounded me. Instead of launching into my day reactively, I gave myself a moment to arrive in it. Over time, that breath became a ritual, a switch that flipped me from autopilot into awareness. Micro habit number 4. Drink water immediately. Before coffee, before anything, water. It rehydrated my brain, and just doing one healthy thing right away gave me a psychological boost. It's like saying to yourself, hey, I'm taking care of me. And from there, other healthy choices were easier. Micro habit number 5. One line of journaling. Not a whole page, not even a paragraph, just one line. Sometimes it was something I was grateful for, sometimes just a thought. But showing up to that journal every morning built a habit loop. My mind knew this is the time for reflection. Over weeks, that one line naturally became 2, then 3, and eventually a real journaling practice. What these habits taught me was this. It's not about doing everything right in the morning. It's about doing one small thing, then another. That momentum builds, and pretty soon, your entire morning feels different. Even on bad days, days I overslept, days I didn't feel like myself, these micro habits were like anchors. They gave my mornings just enough structure to keep me grounded. The beauty of micro habits is that you don't have to do them all at once. Pick one. Make it so easy it's laughable. Then stick with it until it feels automatic. Once it's part of your rhythm, add another. Most people fail to change their mornings because they go too hard, too fast. They try to create a full morning routine from scratch. Yoga, journaling, reading, exercise, all before 7 a.m. But when you're tired, stressed, or short on time, that perfect routine crumbles. Micro habits survive real life. They're small enough to succeed even on bad days. And that's where their power lies. Start small, stay consistent, Your mornings will never be the same. Section 4. Micro habits that helped my mental health. I didn't always think about my mental health. I thought if I just pushed through, worked harder, or distracted myself enough, things would get better. But the truth is, ignoring your mental state doesn't make it go away. It just buries it until it spills over. What helped me the most wasn't a breakthrough therapy session or a life-changing book. It was micro habits. Tiny practices that became emotional pressure valves, grounding tools, and quiet reminders that I was worth taking care of. Micro habit number 1, name the feeling. Every morning, I ask myself one question. What am I feeling right now? That's it. No fixing, no judging, just naming. Anxious, tired, hopeful, overwhelmed. When I started doing this, I realized how often I skipped over my emotions. This habit helped me build awareness, and awareness is always the first step to healing. Micro habit number 2, one kind sentence to myself. We are brutal to ourselves, harsher than we'd ever be to a friend. So I started writing down or whispering one kind sentence every day. You're doing your best. It's okay to feel off today. You handled that better than you think. It felt cheesy at first, but that daily act slowly rewired my self-talk. It's hard to spiral when your brain has been fed compassion every day. Micro habit number 3, step outside for 60 seconds. Yes, just 1 minute. Whether it was raining or sunny or freezing, I'd step outside, breathe real air, look at the sky. That tiny break from screens, walls, and noise gave my nervous system a reset. It was my micro escape, and often led to a longer walk, or at least a deeper breath. Micro habit number 4, digital detox checkpoint. At 8 p.m., I'd set a reminder. Are you mindlessly scrolling, or do you need a break? That question changed everything. Sometimes I kept scrolling, but consciously. Other times, I closed the app and did something better for my mind. Awareness replaced autopilot, and my sleep got better too. Micro habit number 5, the 3 good things reflection. At night, I'd quickly jot down 3 small good things from the day. A good cup of coffee, a funny message, the way the sun hit the window. It's amazing how much beauty we miss when we're stuck in our heads. This habit didn't erase stress, but it made joy louder. Mental health isn't fixed in big leaps. It's built through moments. And these micro moments, checking in, stepping outside, being kind to myself, created space. Space to breathe, to slow down, to feel. And when you feel safe with your own emotions, everything else in life becomes more manageable. No, micro habits won't solve everything, but they give you tools, anchors, small ways to say, I matter. And sometimes that's exactly what your mind needs to hear. Section 5, productivity. Micro habits that made me focused. I used to think productivity meant doing more, checking more boxes, filling more hours, pushing harder. But that version of productivity left me burnt out and distracted. The truth is, it's not about doing more things. It's about doing the right things, with clarity and focus. And what helped me get there wasn't a fancy app or a 10-hour grind session. It was, again, micro habits, small, easy, repeatable things that trained my brain to focus without force. Micro habit number 1, the 3-task rule. Every morning, I write down just 3 key tasks for the day. Not a full to-do list, not 15 bullet points, just 3. This habit forced me to prioritize. It helped me stop chasing productivity for the sake of feeling busy and start focusing on what actually mattered. If I finished those 3 things, the day was a win. Micro habit number 2, the 5-minute start. Whenever I felt resistance, whether it was writing, emailing, or cleaning, I'd tell myself, just do 5 minutes. That's it. No pressure to finish. Just start. That micro shift removed the weight of perfectionism. Most of the time, once I started, I kept going. The hardest part is showing up. And this habit tricked my brain into action. Micro habit number 3, focused work, phone in another room. I started doing work blocks, just 25 minutes, with my phone physically in a different room. Not face down, not on silent, gone. It's wild how much more present your mind becomes when you don't have the option to escape. That tiny barrier changed everything. Suddenly, I wasn't fighting distractions. They just weren't there. Micro habit number 4, the next action trigger. Instead of asking, what do I need to do today? I started asking, what's the next small action I can take right now? It sounds simple, but this question killed procrastination. I wasn't thinking in big outcomes. I was zooming into the very next step. 1 email, 1 paragraph, 1 click. That's all I needed to move forward. Micro habit number 5, 3-minute end-of-day reflection. At the end of the day, I take 3 minutes to ask, what worked, what didn't? What will I do differently tomorrow? That reflection helped me spot patterns. It helped me forgive myself when I slipped and plan better the next time. It became a gentle closure ritual that sharpened my self-awareness and slowly improved how I worked. These habits didn't make me some productivity machine, but they helped me focus, and focus, true, deep, intentional focus, is rare and powerful in a distracted world. The biggest myth about productivity is that it's about intensity. It's not. It's about consistency. It's about creating systems that lower resistance and make your best work feel natural. That's what these micro habits gave me. A way to stop trying to be productive and just be it. Section 6. Social and emotional micro habits that deepened my relationships. When we talk about habits, we usually think of personal goals, health, focus, productivity. But some of the most impactful micro habits I've built were about something else entirely: connection. Relationships don't thrive from grand gestures. They grow from small, consistent signals of care, and I was missing a lot of those. I used to get caught up in my own world, forgetting to check in, to listen, to simply show up. These micro habits helped me reconnect with friends, family, and myself. Micro habit number 1. How's your head and heart? Check-in. Instead of asking, how are you? I started asking people, how's your head and how's your heart? That question cracked something open. It invited real conversations, deeper than surface level. And when someone asked me the same in return, I realized how often I ignored my own emotional check-ins too. Micro habit number 2, send 1 genuine message a day. Every day, I'd send 1 text, voice note, or message to someone I cared about. Nothing dramatic, just, hey, I thought of you, or I'm proud of you. These tiny moments built bridges. They reminded people that they mattered and made me feel more connected too. It's wild how a 20-second text can nurture a friendship. Micro habit number 3, the 10-second pause before reacting. Whenever I felt annoyed, triggered, or defensive, I practiced pausing for just 10 seconds. I didn't always succeed, but when I did, It gave me enough space to respond, not react. That one pause saved me from arguments, passive-aggressive comments, and a lot of unnecessary drama. Micro habit number 4, eye contact during small talk. Sounds silly, right? But I realized I often looked at my phone or fidgeted during conversations. So I made it a habit. When someone talks, give them your full eyes. That tiny shift made my conversations warmer. People opened up more, and I felt more present. Micro habit number 5, end conversations with intention. Whether it was in person or over text, I made it a point to end conversations with something intentional. I appreciate you. I'm glad we talked. Let's hang soon. That little closing ritual made connections feel complete, not rushed. We underestimate how much tiny actions matter in relationships, but they stack. They build trust, warmth, and presence, not through effort, but through attention. Micro habits helped me stop going through the motions. They taught me to connect on purpose. And the more I practiced them, the more my relationships transformed. Not because I became more social, but because I became more intentional. Section 7, Micro Habits for Better Sleep and Physical Energy. For a long time, I didn't take sleep seriously. I saw it as something I could sacrifice. Stay up late to get more done, crash whenever, caffeine my way through the next day. But slowly, that strategy broke me. I felt foggy, irritable, unmotivated, and I didn't even realize sleep was the root. What changed wasn't a total lifestyle overhaul. It was, again, micro habits. Tiny shifts in how I approached rest and energy that added up to way more clarity, calm, and actual energy. Micro habit number 1, same bedtime, even on weekends. I know, this sounds like a rule your grandma would give. But going to bed at the same time, even within a 30-minute window, trained my body to expect rest. After a couple weeks, I started getting sleepy naturally at the same time. No more endless scrolling, no more lying in bed wide awake. It just worked. Micro habit number 2, lights out, equals screens out. I created one rule. When the main light goes off, the phone goes down. That tiny cue helped break the loop of late-night doom scrolling. I didn't need willpower, just that trigger. And with less blue light, my sleep got deeper. Micro habit number 3, 60 seconds of stretching before bed. Nothing fancy, just reaching up, touching my toes, a neck roll or two. That short physical reset helped release tension I didn't even realize I was holding. It became a signal, we're slowing down now, we're letting go. Micro habit number 4, morning sunlight within 30 minutes of waking. This one's backed by science. Getting real sunlight early in the day resets your circadian rhythm, boosts alertness, and helps you sleep better at night. So I started stepping outside with my coffee, even if just for a minute. The impact on my energy was instant. Micro habit number 5, the 1 glass of water before caffeine rule. It sounds simple, but this habit made my mornings feel cleaner. Before coffee, before anything, just 1 glass of water. It rehydrated my system after sleep and made that first sip of caffeine feel like a reward, not a crutch. What I learned is this: you don't need a perfect sleep schedule or a strict routine. You need signals, small actions that tell your body it's time to rest or it's time to rise. Micro habits gave me those signals. And once I had them, I stopped fighting my body and started working with it. More energy, better sleep, less burnout. All from the changes so small, they barely felt like effort. Section 8, the psychology behind why microhabits work. So by now you've heard a bunch of examples, but here's the real question. Why do microhabits actually work? Why do these small, almost invisible actions lead to such big results? It all comes down to how your brain is wired. First, there's something called activation energy, the mental effort it takes to start a task. The higher the activation energy, the more likely we are to avoid it. That's why cleaning your entire apartment feels overwhelming, but picking up one sock? That feels doable. Microhabits lower the barrier to entry. They remove the friction. Psychologists call this behavioral momentum. When you complete one small task, your brain gets a hit of dopamine, a reward. And that tiny reward creates a loop. Action, reward, repeat. You start building trust with yourself. Hey, I said I'd do that one thing, and I did. And here's the key. Consistency matters more than intensity. Your brain doesn't care if the habit is small, it cares that it's repeated. Every time you show up, you reinforce an identity. I'm the kind of person who follows through. That's powerful. There's also the habit loop popularized by Charles Duhigg. Cue, routine, reward. Microhabits are perfect for this model. You set a cue, like brushing your teeth. You insert a tiny habit, like doing one push-up or saying one kind thing to yourself. Then you get a reward, a little sense of progress, of pride, of momentum. Repeat that loop enough times and it becomes automatic. And finally, there's cognitive load. We live in a world that constantly drains our mental energy. Big changes require big effort, and we don't always have that effort to spare. Microhabits are sustainable because they don't require a massive shift. They fit into your life without burning you out. So the magic of microhabits isn't magic at all. It's psychology. It's your brain responding to small wins, repeated often, that feel good to do and are easy to keep doing. That's why they work. And that's why they last. Section 9, Final Thoughts plus CTA. So here's the big idea. Change doesn't have to be dramatic to be real. The habits that changed my life weren't massive overhauls. They were tiny shifts. Small, consistent actions that added up to better focus, better sleep, stronger relationships, and a more peaceful mind. And you don't need to do them all. Pick one. Just one micro habit that feels easy enough to start today. Make it so simple, you don't need motivation. Do it consistently and watch how it grows. Because success isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters consistently. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Hit the like button so others can find it too. And if you want more videos like this, real, practical, human, make sure to subscribe. We've got so much more coming. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself, one small step at a time.